Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My dear students, today we are starting the new chapter in physics, that is chapter number 11, pushes and pulls. In this chapter we will talk about force and weight and their effect on each other. So let's start. Before starting, I am requesting to all the students, please open your books and just go to page number 65. Let's start. First of all, we should know what is a force. We will talk about the different examples of the force in our daily life. For example, pushing, pulling, lifting, bending, twisting, tearing, squeezing, stretching are all the forces. And we are using these forces in our daily life a lot of time. When we are doing anything like pushing, pulling, lifting, it means we are applying a force. For example, if you see this diagram here, in this diagram they are twisting the piece of a cloth. If you talk about this diagram, there are two boys are there. One of them is pushing, this boy, and other one is pulling, for example this boy. It means at the same time both are applying the force. Let's move to the next diagram. For example, this person, he is trying to lift a heavy weight. It means he is also applying a force. For example, this diagram, they are squeezing a piece of a foam. So it means that they are also applying a force. So all these diagrams shows example of forces. Now let's move to this diagram. It's about tearing. When you are going to tear a piece of a paper or a plastic bag, so you are also applying a force. Once again, if you talk about the forces, so it means that you are using that forces in our daily life. Pushing, pulling, lifting, bending, twisting, tearing, squeezing, stretching are all the forces. Now next thing, what a force can do. If you talk about the force, number one, force can change the shape or size of the object. For example, this one, you have an empty can. If you apply a force by your hand or by your foot, you can squeeze or you can change its shape. So from this we can say that the force can change the shape of the size of the object. The second diagram shows the force can change the speed of the object also. For example, this boy, whenever he pushes the ground with his foot, he moves faster than before. It means that he is also using the force to increase his speed. So it means force can be used to change the speed of the object. The last diagram, they are talking about the force can change the direction of the object. I hope you are aware of the game that is called baseball. In the baseball, when one person is throwing the ball towards a person who having a baseball bat in his hand, he just hit the ball and changing its direction. So this diagram proves that a force, for example here the force applied by this person can change the direction of the ball. But what a force cannot do? It's quite interesting that you can change the shape of the object or the size of the object by applying the force. You can change the direction of the object and you can change the speed of the object, but you cannot change the mass of the object. For example, if you have an empty can, if you hit it, you squeeze it, you press it or you compress it, whatever you will do, you will change its size. From quite bigger size, you will make a smaller size. Still, if you put it on a top and balance, it will give you the same mass as it was giving before changing its shape. So regarding today's topic, my dear student, now I'm going to summarize. For example, we started that number one, what is a force, and I said that Force means that pushing, pulling, lifting, bending, twisting, tearing, all these are examples of force. Then we talk about what a force can do. The force can change the shape or size of the object. Force can change the speed of the object. The force can change the direction of the object. But what is the thing the force cannot do? That is the change in mass. The force cannot change the mass of the object. I hope you understood this lesson. Inshallah, I will be back with a new lesson shortly.